Here we grow one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we grow now. Yes, I just remixed Reina remixed NSYNC. Because it's here we grow. It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded. It feels good to be back. If you have been following me on social media, you'll see that I was in Italy for 2 weeks. We're going to talk about that today. Funny story before we start the episode. 2 weeks ago, I walked into a restaurant. It was karaoke night. And I looked up on stage, and one of my first mentees I ever worked with was up there singing karaoke. Mind you, I wrote his college recommendation letter for Harvard, and I just smiled with pride and looked at my friends and said, you know, if he's singing on stage 8 years later, then I think I did my job. So karaoke is definitely one of my favorite things to do. I think it is one of the best exercises to boost your confidence. I am a terrible singer. Horrible. But I'm an amazing dancer. I work the stage. You know, it's not just about singing. It's also about the performance that you bring. And I always like to end my karaoke by saying, treat life like karaoke. Don't take it too seriously. And we can kind of like apply that mentality to our lives in the sense that sometimes we focus so much on like what we're not talented at that we don't create an opportunity for our other talents to shine. I hope that inspires you to really embrace your gifts and recognize that you don't necessarily have to have all the tools or all the skills to be good or to be great or be admired for a certain thing. And certainly when you go up on stage and you put on a hell of a performance, then everyone who goes afterwards is amped up and energized. So that's a little confidence tip for you. Karaoke is my jam. And Italy was life-changing, right? When people say, how was it? I think one of the biggest things that I got out of the trip was sometimes leaving a place and going somewhere totally new around new people, new environment. It's nice to be reminded of your value and the contribution and how you show up, right? You know, just to meet all my brother and now sister. I was there because my brother got married. To meet all their friends and build like genuine connections. And it was just amazing to feel, you know, funny and cool and welcomed and loved. And I can definitely say that since I've been back, I'm operating at a much higher level than I did before I left. And that's a theme I've kind of been thinking about a lot the last couple weeks. Are you operating at the most recent update? Let me explain. You know, on your iPhone or, you know, whatever phone that you have, I was team Samsung till a year ago. So for my Samsung people out there, you rock. I made the switch. But, you know, we get these alerts on our iPhone that there's a new update. There's a new programming, right? And sometimes people don't want to download the updates because they're like, this is going to disrupt what I got going on here. This is going to slow down the phone. This is going to do this, going to do that. And I think we can apply that to personal development. Really ask yourself, am I operating from the most recent update? Right? Because I'm telling you, the amount of growth that I've had in the last couple weeks, I'm like at update 12 versus like, I think the last episode, I would say I was on like version 6. which is great. 6 is my lucky number, right? But we should always be striving to reach for more, to learn more, to reach out to people, to experience different things. And Italy was magical. And I'm really, really proud to share with you guys that I took a little video clip from the wedding toast that I did for my brother, and it is going viral. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a video that's going viral. Okay, let's talk about this. Couple things. One, once upon a time, I got maybe 13 hits on a video. I was lucky if anyone watched my videos, right? So, biggest lesson, be consistent, right? As long as you're inspiring one person or one person's getting value out of it, keep going, because the growth eventually will come. Another thing is, I didn't think about the post. I just was like, oh, this is funny. Let me clip it. Let me stick it in there. And holy shit, 1.2 million hits on Instagram, a little over 200,000 hits on TikTok. I've gotten like over 1,000 followers. I never in a million years thought that my business account, The Rose Grows, would have more followers than my personal account. And again, it just goes to show being consistent, not overthinking, right? One of my earlier episodes, we talked about progress over perfection. Sometimes we don't post something because of our own belief system. We think it's not good enough, or it could do this, or it could do that. So don't overthink things in your life, right? And I love how Gary Vaynerchuk says, you're always one piece of content away from going viral, right? So keep putting stuff out there, because when you do have that one piece that's going to hit, eventually your other content is going to be seen. You know me, I'm the girl who says hello to everyone. And when I was flying back from Italy and was in customs in the Atlanta airport, which incredible people watching, by the way, I looked up and I could not believe who I saw in front of me. Okay. Have you ever had a mentor that you've never met in real life? Okay, so that's Shannon Munson for me. I looked up and I was just like, I know exactly who you are. I'm like, your content resonates with me so much. I save all your posts. And I couldn't believe I recognized her with a mask on, right? And, she was like, what's your name? What do you do? I said, I'm Raina Rose Exelbeard. I'm an entrepreneur. And I was fangirling so hard that I couldn't share anything else about myself. I just looked at her and I said, I just want you, never forget. I want you to know, never underestimate how much your presence makes the world a better place. And we split ways. And as I walked away, I kind of felt a little foolish. I was like, dude, you just met your mentor. Why were you going to tell her about, your stuff? And powerful lesson here, because later, when I went to post about our encounter, she DM'd me and she sent me some really, really thoughtful messages about my work and how much that encounter had meant to her. So, number one, be open, right? Be where your sneakers are. Be where your feet are, as Jesse Itzler likes to say. I had just been traveling for 15 plus hours. I was tired. Didn't want to be there, right? But by being present in the moment, I was able to make that thoughtful connection. You see what I'm saying? When we put ourselves out there, when we tell people what they mean to us or how they make us feel, we have absolutely no idea what other people are going through. And I'm super excited to share that I'm going to be meeting with Shannon next week. Obviously, sent her a book for her kiddos. So I just want to say too, with relationship building, it's a process. And if you're ever in a moment kind of where I was, where I was like, oh God, why didn't I say anything about my stuff? that's okay. The goal is to have more conversations, right? To give value and create connections based off of authenticity. I want to thank you guys for listening to today's episode. Are you operating at your most recent update? And remember that it's a journey. You know, there's definitely other areas in my business that I'm working on and learning and growing. But certainly, you know, these milestones I've had on social media, not that I never thought that they would happen. I just I didn't see it happening now. And that's the beauty of doing the right thing, being where you're supposed to be. Because when you're around the right people and when you're doing the right activities, you put yourself in a position to actually receive blessings and opportunities. When you put yourself in situations where you're not getting a contribution back, you're not going to feel fulfilled. You're not going to be attracting opportunities and contacts. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing since, even right before I left for Italy, because I just had this shift where I'm like, this is happening, I am this, right? So hold yourself to those affirmations. And I want to challenge you this week, write down your goals. We still have a couple months left in this calendar year. And I'm going to be doing a series about this on social media, about how important it is to write your goals so that they actually happen. But I want to challenge you to write up some goals of things you want to accomplish in these next couple months. And dig deep. These should be multiple buckets, right? Health, work, family, relationships, maybe cleanliness in your house, right? I've been doing a lot of remodeling, organizing, throwing stuff out here. And when we create space in our place, when we change our environment, there's no telling what will manifest for ourselves. Thank you so much for listening. Toodles.